If everyone will find a chair, we will try to get started relatively on time. Well, good evening and welcome to our beautiful community center, which appropriately is very close to the center of our city. I really love this town. I'm Steve Tate, and I'm very proud to be the mayor of Morgan Hill. First, I want to start with some introduction, and always first, my wife, Jennifer. Jennifer supported me now for over 40 years, and I really appreciate that support. We have a great city council. They all love Morgan Hill and are really working hard to make it an even better place. They are Mayor Pro Tem Larry Carr, Councilmember Greg Sellers, Councilmember Marty Lee, and not with us this evening because he's teaching class, I think, over next door is Councilmember Mark Grzan. We also have with us this evening our elected city clerk, Irma Torres. And from our school board, we have with us this evening both the president of the school board, Peter Mandel, and Kathy Sullivan. We have so many of our commissioners and committee members here with us tonight, I'm just going to ask them all to stand up and take a bow all at one time. Please stand up, commissioners. Yes. Next, our city staff are remarkably dedicated and talented, all of them. I'm going to ask the senior staff members to stand as I call their name and ask that you hold your applause until we've introduced them all. Let's start with City Manager Ed Tweez, Police Chief Bruce Cumming, Public Works Director Jim Ashcraft, Business Assistance and Housing Director Garrett Toy, Human Resources Director Mary Kay Fisher, Finance Director Jack Dillis, our new Recreation and Community Services Director Steve Reimer, and in her other role, she has another role, Council Services and Records Manager Irma Torres, standing in the back. Another newcomer to our city is the assistant to the city manager, Brian Stott. I need to thank Brian. You will see him operating the projector, and he's helped me a lot in getting this presentation ready to go this evening. And of course, Lisa Lewis, who's always such a big help in setting these things up for us. Let's give them all a great big hand. Tonight, we'll cover what we accomplished in 2006. It was truly a phenomenal year. If there's a central theme to this evening, it is to use the foundation from 2006 to build our way into the future. We need to know where we're going to make sure that we build properly to get there. So we'll next look at our vision for Morgan Hill, sort of a simple statement of where this community should be going. Then, knowing where we want to go, we'll talk about the steps that we will be taking in 2007 to help us get there. We'll share the goals and some of the policies and plans that we have in place for the year ahead. So let's start by reviewing 2006. Now, who is it that's saying that 2006 is such an amazing year? Well, it's none other than my good friend, my mentor, and a true community leader, my predecessor in this job, Dennis Kennedy. Dennis, please stand. It's been Morgan Hill's great good fortune to have had Dennis's leadership for 16 years on the council and 11 of those years as mayor. He leaves a legacy for us that is truly fantastic. More than 10 years ago, Dennis got us all together and asked, what do you want Morgan Hill to be? And we told him. Now we have what we asked for because of Dennis's leadership. He made it happen. I am really very fortunate to be following Dennis in this office. He has left us such a solid foundation that we can build on. Dennis, on behalf of the entire community, thank you so very much for your leadership over the years, for the legacy you have left us. We, and I think I speak for the entire City Council, are committed to carrying forward with the same dedication and love that you have used to get us where we are now. It was truly a fantastic year thanks to your leadership. Thanks again. The Morgan Hill City election was a very positive experience. All candidates were respectful and focused on the issues. No one got into negative territory, and all the candidates were extremely well qualified. With Dennis not running, we knew we'd have a fresh face on the council, and it turned out to be Councilmember Marby Leaf. Marby has really been working hard to learn what she needs to know to effectively serve you. She's building relationships with all of us on the council that will allow us to serve you collaboratively. We appreciate having Marby with us. We've had a very smooth transition to the new council because of the legacy Dennis has left us, because Marby's getting on board so quickly, and because the whole council is committed to having a very good working environment. Things are really moving forward nicely. One of our newer staff members that is not with us here this evening, unable to attend tonight, is our new city attorney, Janet Kern. The responsibility for hiring the city attorney rests with the council, and we accomplished that early in 2006. Janet came to us in February from San Jose. Since then, we've been receiving a fairly steady stream of very good news on legal actions involving the city. We're definitely heading in the right direction. Now, Janet says that she is most successful when she doesn't say anything while she's sitting on the dais. Now, I think that's pretty ironic, a lawyer that doesn't want to talk. Janet brings her skill and a very great sense of humor to the job. She's fun to work with, and we're very fortunate to have her. October saw the opening of the new Centennial Recreation Center. It is another great addition to Morgan Hill's community facilities. In addition to the pool, the gym, the aerobics and the workout facilities, it has a great youth and senior activity wings. Youth and seniors are indeed interacting, and the senior nutritional program is very successful in its new location. The facility is exceeding all of its targets for participation, and our operational partnership with the YMCA is definitely a success. Now, I had the opportunity to work with Mayor Pro Tem Larry Carr on the committee that researched and recommended the YMCA partnership. This was a fairly intense effort over several months, requiring analysis and some careful thought about alternative approaches. I was very impressed with Larry's ability to look at the entire picture and weigh potential risk and reward with joint venture. Thank you, Larry, for your leadership in this very significant effort. When we opened the Centennial Recreation Center, we also opened the first segment of an adjoining wildlife trail that will grow to both the north and south in the future. Adjoining the trail is Liberty, the Evelyn Davis sculpture of a local species of bobcat. It is the first of what we will hope will be many art pieces, public art pieces, celebrating wildlife along the trail. We also opened the dog park west of the Centennial Recreation Center, and it is being very heavily utilized. Created in a partnership with the dog ownership group, it provides off-leash recreation to our canine companions. We broke ground on our new library. It's 28,000 square feet, twice the size of the existing facility, and that's going to allow us to kind of break out of our current confined space. I love coming down to City Hall every day and seeing the progress on this facility. It's on time, on budget, and we are anxiously looking forward to the grand opening this summer. We've recently given the go-ahead to start upgrading the current soccer fields on Connick Road for an outdoor sports complex. We'll be converting 2 of the fields to synthetic turf, and they'll have lights. We'll also pave the parking lot and add a facility with restrooms, a clubhouse, and a snack bar. Our local sports teams will be able to use the fields during the week, and of course with the lights in the evenings as well. The positive financial news is that we ended the year with a small budget surplus. We were extremely pleased to learn that our early forecast for a budget shortfall wasn't going to happen. The council adopted a sustainable budget strategy in 2005. It called for 2 steps, cutting expenses first and then raising the revenues. Our staff did a fantastic job over the last 2 years on the expense side of that equation, using many tools and techniques to keep things on track. Sales tax from auto dealerships and from the rising gasoline prices increased the revenue side, and the budget balanced in 2006. There's a big caution here though. There is insufficient future revenues projected to enhance our city services. We'll talk more about that in a little while later. Our sustainable budget strategy called for us to work with residents to determine if and how they would be willing to increase the city's revenues. So we launched community conversations, dialogues that I believe were extremely successful. 320 residents attended a lengthy 2.5-hour session to learn about our budget and our current levels of service. They gave us informed feedback on alternatives for generating future revenues. They said that revenue from increased economic development was preferable to any increase in taxes. Many also said, however, that they would be open to taxes if they could be shown that the resulting service levels would be sufficiently beneficial to the community. This is input we will use to help us formulate our future financial planning steps. Well, the 100th anniversary of the city of Morgan Hill was a tremendous celebration. We started with a New Year's Eve gala here in the community center. We ended on November 10th, the actual anniversary date, with the unveiling of the History Trail project on the property in front of the home of our founder, Hiram Morgan Hill. We look forward to the completion of that project and to the installation on Depot Street of the bronze Waiting for the Train sculpture. Now on August 5th, we had a fabulous Centennial Barbecue, which was a party for our own community. It was fantastic. I hope we'll have more of these just for us kind of events in the future. I think it's very important for the community to come together and enjoy what we have here. With the opening of the History Trail and the recent move of the Morgan Hill Museum to the Morgan Hill House site on Monterey Road, we're poised now for the spring opening of a wonderful kind of a history park where our community can honor its heritage. We move forward with our plan to make downtown the vital heart of our community. In the election, Measure F passed, allowing 100 additional residential units to be constructed in the downtown without affecting the overall population cap established by Measure C. Measure F allows these units and 350 other downtown units approved under Measure C to be built as soon as possible. It will help attract more building that mixes residential and commercial uses, and that is what we call smart growth. Downtown property owners also approved a PBID, and that's really a business assessment district. Through an annual assessment, the owners will fund projects that will bolster the downtown. We are also about to complete the Depot Street upgrade project. It will have new curbs and gutters, utility undergrounding, lighting, and landscaping for a dramatic upgrade in the whole appearance of Depot Street. For many years, Councilmember Greg Sellers has served as a voice for the downtown. He led the effort to develop the downtown plan and is now working hard to see that it is implemented correctly. He's been involved in all the efforts I've described and continues to be the council's ombudsman to the downtown. Thank you, Greg. We really appreciate all your efforts. 2006 marked the 25th anniversary of Morgan Hill's Ojo de Agua redevelopment agency. We celebrated that milestone by extending the agency's life, allowing it to collect an additional $333 million. We also reduced the area that the RDA covers by eliminating some of the business parks where redevelopment is essentially already complete. This will increase property tax revenues to our general fund by $800,000 a year and also increase revenue to other taxing agencies, including Santa Clara County. We're changing the focus of our RDA away from the construction of community facilities. We'll now be more focused on downtown infrastructure and on the specific economic redevelopment projects. We've already approved RDA funding for certain traffic congestion relief projects and sewer enhancements. Previously, we were funding those by collecting developer impact fees. By lowering the cost of development in Morgan Hill, we'll be able to attract additional economic investment. For years, residents have been clamoring for a Trader Joe's in Morgan Hill. It is here. Many youth have wanted the bowling alley to reopen to give them something to do. It's open. We wanted a brew pub. El Toro is finally open. The need to leave town for many shopping needs will soon be obsolete. Both the DeNapoli Regional Center on Cochrane east of the freeway and Madrone Village, which is on Cochrane west of the Chevron station, will be open this summer. More and more, the opportunities you are looking for are right here in Morgan Hill. Building on our established sister city relationships with San Casciano in Italy and San Martin de Hidalgo in Mexico, we've added 2 new sister cities in 2006. Dennis and his buddy Bernie Mulligan spent St. Patrick's Day in Headford, Ireland, signing and celebrating a new relationship with them. Mizuho, Japan, sent a large delegation to Morgan Hill for our annual 4th of July festivities, and we did a formal sister city relationship signing with them at that time. The final area we want to review for 2006 is the area of perchlorate, the chemical perchlorate in our groundwater supply. After several years of working with the Regional Water Quality Control Board, we finally convinced them in December to declare Olin Corporation responsible for the perchlorate that is contaminating city wells to the northwest of the site, as well as the wells to the south. This bolsters our effort to hold Olin responsible for returning our groundwater supply to its prior pre-perchlorate contamination status. Councilmember Mark Gerzon heads our Council Utilities Environment Committee and is a passionate supporter of clean and healthy environment. He has been a strong advocate for protecting the public health regarding perchlorate. We appreciate his contributions in these efforts. Now let's turn to our vision for Morgan Hill's future, where we want to go. I kind of like this map showing Morgan Hill kind of the big guy in the center of everything. Remember those shirts we had a few years ago that said New York, Paris, London, and then in big letters it had the big Morgan Hill? Kind of reminds me of that. Our vision is not to become a big guy. It is really not to become any kind of urban metropolis, quite the opposite. But we'll discuss several aspects of where we think we need to be going. People tell me that they love living in Morgan Hill. They love its unique feel. I believe that our small town atmosphere, our neighborly friendliness, our sense of community, and our can-do attitude are attributes we strongly need to embrace and to maintain. We must never lose this close feeling we have for our community. People's love for Morgan Hill involves a strong affection for the downtown. We like it as it is, but we see potential for a lot more. Our aim is to attract more people downtown, making it livelier, increasing vitality, and making things happen. Morgan Hill's personality and identity will blossom from having lots of downtown residents, restaurants, entertainment, services, and boutique shops. Safety is one of the most fundamental and essential roles of government. Simply said, any vision of our future must assure that we are kept as safe as possible. We need protection from accidents, from crime, fire, disasters, as well as competent help in medical emergencies. We need to always have a warm feeling that we are safe and protected. Essential to both safety and to economic development is our infrastructure. This includes roads, street lighting, drainage, water, wastewater capacity. We tend to take these things that are called infrastructure for granted. We assume it will be there when it's needed. but it takes good, hard planning and sufficient financial resources to make sure the infrastructure is adequate. We need to provide a wide array of opportunities to fulfill the wants and needs of our residents, as well as those who work here and our local businesses. We need to broaden opportunities for businesses to either start, move, or grow here, and to expand when they're ready. Now, achieving our vision requires the ability to pay for all the services necessary to support that vision. Having sufficient financial resources is essential to success. The cost of services cannot exceed our revenues over the long haul. We can use reserves strategically to withstand shortfalls, but not for extended periods. We may find that the level of services it will take to attain all our goals will really require additional revenues from residents. Should that happen, we must give voters an opportunity to decide if and how to raise those revenues. If voters are unwilling to raise revenues, we'll need to adjust our goals and vision accordingly. So, knowing now where we are and where we want to be, let's look at what we're doing in 2007 to help take us in that direction. We'll start with the financial piece. Here's some good news and some bad news. The chart shows the net of revenues less expenditures. And it was really great news last year that we were positive after several negative years. It is also good to see that after this year, we are projecting being in a positive position into the future. In fact, the negative in 2007 is just about offset by the positive in 2006. On the other side of the coin, though, is the fact that the projections are all based on maintaining the current level of services, with only one exception. The one exception in service will be the 2 more police officers that will be required when the new Napoli Regional Shopping Center comes online. We will be adding 2 officers for that. We are a growing community and growing at a controlled rate prescribed by ordinance. We are at 38,000 now, and we will get to 48,000 in the year 2020. So there's a big question about how long we can maintain services at the current level in the face of our growth. A particular concern are safety services, which are already quite stretched. So we need to explore service requirements and seek public input on what specifically could justify a revenue measure and what shape such a measure should take. We will pursue a process to engage our residents in a dialogue where we get informed direction from them. Because safety services are of a particular concern, we plan to do in-depth studies to determine options for enhancing both police and fire services. While our police and fire personnel are absolutely top-notch and very productive, we are concerned as our population grows about having enough of them and having them assigned correctly. Our Public Safety and Community Services Committee, which is composed of myself and Larry Carr, will be leading this effort with plans to report on police in May and on fire in September. The results of these studies will then be used in our public interaction efforts. The emphasis of our economic development strategy for 2007 is fairly simple and straightforward. We want to increase jobs in Morgan Hill by encouraging development of remaining vacant industrial and commercially zoned properties and by attracting tenants to vacant buildings. In addition, we'd like 1 to 3 additional car dealerships to come to town, locating north of the current Ford dealerships. New dealerships will be required to mitigate neighborhood impacts and to be generally compatible with our community. We've made a great start toward achieving our downtown plan and need to continue our efforts in 2007. We've already declared our intent to direct $20 million of the new RDA funds toward the downtown. And our Community and Economic Development Committee of Greg Sellers and Marby Lee will make recommendations to a council workshop in March on how these funds should be spent. Potential areas are listed on the chart. We want to start on the creation of the 3rd Street Promenade early next year in 2008. We'll be coordinating with property owners along 3rd Street that are upgrading their properties to optimize schedules and efforts on all of these projects that will be going on together. We're putting a strong focus on the old Granada theaters. Seems like most people want to revive the glory of yesterday by having the Granada live again. In some form, if not a theater, perhaps there is some other appropriate use. We're not making any absolute commitments here, but it is a definite focal point for us, and the Community and Economic Development Committee will be making a recommendation for redevelopment of the Granada Theater in April. In the past, we've stressed cost recovery for our facilities and perhaps tried too hard to set facility-specific targets. We have decided to shift the focus by setting an overall cost recovery goal for recreation and community services of about 70% of cost. That is twice the national average for recreational services cost recovery. It's an aggressive goal that our staff thinks they can achieve and may even be able to exceed. Any excess recovery will go to increasing community access to our facilities through scholarships and other similar means. The city owns 2 facilities on Wright Avenue. One is the Friendly Inn building, which is at Galvin Park, and the other is the El Toro Youth Center. The Friendly Inn is in desperate need of repair and remodeling and an overall facelift. With the move of most of the YMCA functions and programming to the Centennial Recreation Center, we need to determine the appropriate future uses of these structures in order to set the plan for them. We'll conduct a workshop for this purpose prior to finalizing our 2007-2008 budget. Mutual cooperation and coordination with Morgan Hill Unified School District will enable us to support kids' opportunity to succeed whenever possible. We can help by doing things like making our city and library computers provide easy navigation to school district resources and databases. We can increase recreational opportunities by coordinating recreational facility scheduling. We can help on facilities planning and assure student safety with our school resource officers and with the planned safe routes to school. I am pleased to report that we have already accomplished our goal of reestablishing the City School Liaison Committee. Larry Carr, myself, Ed Tweez met with Board President Peter Mandel, Board members Don Moody and Shelley Thomas, and Superintendent Alan Nishino on February 15th, and we established an agenda and schedule for future meetings. So we can check off one of our goals for 2007. Footprints for the future. About every 10 years, cities are asked, or it's kind of a regular thing for cities to update their general plan. We completed our last update in 1999, and since it takes about 2 years to go through the update process, it's time to look at an update now. We've decided to limit our updates to land use and traffic circulation, and we'll be preparing a plan to do the update in 2008. There is a growing emphasis on and support for the necessity to conserve our precious earth resources. We're being strongly encouraged to take more of a leadership role in this arena. On May 17th, it's the annual Bike to Work Day, and I've accepted that challenge, so we'll be tuning up my old bike in the garage and trekking on down and back up the hill. We've agreed to develop an environmental agenda for making Morgan Hill a greener community. We will build on the outstanding efforts of our environmental programs guru, Tony Yulo. By summer, our Utilities and Environment Committee of Mark Gerzon and Larry Carr will recommend what this agenda should look like. We will also be reviewing our Measure C points award criteria to make sure we are doing all we can to encourage greenness in our new residential units. In order to emphasize the Council's commitment to our goals and policies for 2007, we're asking all of our commissions and committees to prepare work plans that specifically show how they will be supporting our goals. Our 2007-2008 budget reviews will also emphasize support of council goals. And we're asking for written progress reports on work plan status, not just from our commissions, but from the council committees as well. 2006 was phenomenally successful. We accomplished so much. Set a great base to build on in 2007. And again, thanks Dennis Kennedy for the leadership in making that happen. Our Morgan Hill City staff is simply terrific. Perhaps mainly because of them, we on the council and our supporting committees and commissions do a pretty darn good job for you as well. All of us, the council, our staff, our committees and commissions, and all of you that choose to be involved in any way with this great city will surely be successful in achieving our vision for Morgan Hill. So thank you. I appreciate your caring enough about our community to be here this evening. I hope you'll stay involved and provide feedback that will enable us to better serve you and the community. On behalf of the City Council, thank you so much for being here and sharing our accomplishments and our plans. Thank you very much. That's it. Coffee and cookies are being served in the dance room. The doors are open right behind us here. Thank you. I really appreciate all you being here. And we'll be around each other.